Yo, what's up, everybody, man? It's your guy, Nick Frazier, the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, man. We are back around the water cooler as always, man, and we are here tonight. We talking about transfers. We talking about which guy's going to be the most impactful transfer this year for Auburn football. Y'all ready? I'm ready. My voice is all the way back, about 98%, and we ready to rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. You know what it is. Let's talk about it right after the break. Hey, Eugene Asante. Where you at, my guy?
Boys and girls of all ages, you're tuned into the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah.
You are now tuned in to Water Cooler Talks, covering everything you love about college football, especially everything going down in the SEC Conference. So, if you love college football, you need to lock in. And now, your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, boy, your boy is back, man. Ladies and gentlemen, man, thank y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler. My name is Nick Frazier, one half of the Water Cooler Talk. Here on Water Cooler Talk Sports, man, we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler every night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, man. We thank y'all so much, as always, for giving us a little bit of your time as we continue to grow and grow and grow. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get going, man, make sure you follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast on Facebook, on Instagram and TikTok. Follow us there at the Water Cooler Talk on Instagram and TikTok. Of course, we're trying to grow the Twitter following. So follow us on Twitter at CoolestPod23. Again, follow us on Twitter at CoolestPod23. Follow us on Twitter at CoolestPod23. Follow us on Twitter at CoolestPod23. Man, we appreciate y'all so much for doing that for us. You've done it? Okay, thank you. We appreciate that. And as always, man, subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell button here on YouTube, man. We are five people away. 5 people away. 5 people away from hitting 600 subs here on YouTube, man. So if you would, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you know when we post more videos and when we go live. 5 people away, ladies and gentlemen. 5 people away from hitting that 600 subscribers mark here on YouTube, man. Ladies and gentlemen, man, we thank y'all so much as always for coming around the water cooler with us and just giving us a little bit of your time as we sit here and we talk about everything that deals with Auburn football, everything that deals with the SEC and college football. Man, we just thank y'all so much for rocking with us, man. Let's take a look in the comments and see what's going on, man. Auburn Dad, he said, Word Am Eagle, man. Let's go. What's up, Auburn Dad? Hope you're feeling good, man. Hope all is good. He said, all I can say is for this team to win 8+ games, Jackson Arnold better be the most impactful. That's what he said. He said Jackson Arnold better be the most impactful. I think a lot of people feel that way. Huggy Beard, the legend of Sweet Sugar Bear Williams. What's up, my guy? I hope you're feeling good, man. I hope all is good, man. He said, yo, Nick, what's up, man? I hope you're feeling all right, man. My guy, King Richard, what's up, my guy? War Eagle to you, man. He said everything is going on. He said, like the vid. Come on now. What vid? You talking about the vid that's the normal intro that always comes in. That's the normal intro, but we appreciate that you like it. We appreciate that you like it, my man. He said, matter of fact, don't just like, do everything Nick said. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. JT comes back and says, did my quote go through? Oh, JT, I knew you were going to say something. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for JT's quote of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, the quote of the day.
Yeah, it's time for JT's quote of the day. The quote of the day from JT. JT has the quote of the day for you and me. What is the quote? We want the quote. We need to know the quote. So what is the quote? So quote. It's time for JT's quote of the day. So JT, what is the quote today?
Hey, JT's quote today says, he said, we got a quote today from one of our own, Cam Newton. The quarterback is the extension of the coach and has a certain type of swagger mentality on and off the field. I like that, JT. I like that. The coach is it's just like a point guard. The point guard is an extension of the coach on the floor. So the quarterback is an extension of the coach on the field. I like that, man. JT comes in and he says, Chaplin, in my opinion, will finish all SEC first team, but he feels like Auburn that. He says, but the quarterback is the most important position. So I'm guessing JT is telling us that Jackson Arnold has to be the most impactful transfer that comes in, man. So it's going to be interesting to see. We're going to be interested to see what happens there, man. Yes, sir, man. Dylan, what's going on, my guy? What's going on, Dylan? And welcome around the water cooler, Dylan. What's going on, man? War down amigo to you, my guy. And Dylan is telling us the QB. The QB is going to be the most impactful transfer coming in with Jackson Arnold. Okay. I see we got a lot of Jackson Arnold guys coming in saying, you know, this is going to be the most impactful. Okay. I like this. JT said, oh, he said, that's fire, man. I kind of figured you would like that, man. We're going to play that every day because JT's quote of the day is part of the show, ladies and gentlemen. So y'all get ready for it. The quote of the day from JT will be with us, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. Everybody, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. You saw the Giants had a hell of a left tackle. If your quarterback Daniel Jones, it don't matter. Well, you know, Daniel Jones just signed a 1-year deal with the Colts. So this is gonna be interesting to see what happens. This is going to be interesting to see what happens, man. I don't know. Maybe the Giants are setting up for, I don't know. Maybe the Giants are about to set up for maybe a Shedeur Sanders. No, I don't know. Maybe we're looking at that. That'll be interesting to see. Man. King Richard comes in and says, man, I don't know who would end up the most impactful, but we need Jackson Arnold to have the most impactful season in school history. I'm tired of hearing all this crap from Bama fans and wannabe Bama fans. I agree with you to a point. So if we're saying most impactful season by the QB would be if we're talking about the best season for a quarterback in Auburn history, we're saying that our quarterback is going to throw for more than 3,200 yards is what we're saying. Because if I'm not mistaken, I believe Damian Craig is the guy that has the passing record now, and I think it's 32-27 is where he's at right now. So most impactful means that we need him to be that, maybe a little bit more, because for the simple fact, because we just have a lot of athletes and we have a lot of guys that are on the edges that can do a lot when they get the ball in their hands. So if we just need him, okay, is that the way we're talking impactful, or do we just need him to be a distributor of the football? I don't know if y'all remember, but when shout out to Dukes, man, Dukes to Scoops, when he was on the show, he said that all Auburn needed, all the Auburn quarterback needed to be was a point guard. So is that the most impactful that we need from our quarterback this season? Is just for him to be a distributor of the football, a point guard? He doesn't have to do too much. Is that what y'all think? Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Just saying, for us, this team in Hugh's future, J.A. is it, man. Jackson Arnold is it. Man, it's a lot of Jackson Arnolds in the chat. It's a lot of Jackson Arnold in the chat, man. That's what I'm saying. My guy Tez, what's up, Tez? He's saying fine. I thought Marcus was about to rap. Nah, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what's up, man. Yeah, he went to the Colts. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what's up, man. Let's see what's going on. Tez, everybody saying what's up to Tez. What's up, Tez? JT, J.A. Jackson Arnold, obviously the answer, but I'm going to go with Chris Murray. Okay, so Chris Murray, the defensive end edge rusher from that transfer from Sam Houston State, coming in on the other side. This is the question. Will he be the other starter, though? Will Chris Murray be the other starter? Because I believe Kieran Crawford got something to say about that. I mean, he can be like when we say most impactful, he could. I'm starting to try to see a clear picture as I talk this out. Chris Murray could be a most impactful guy on that defensive line for the simple fact you don't have to rush Mars Williams and Jamonta Waller in too quick. You have that experienced guy that's been in college football at some point in time, even though it's been at Samuel State, he has a lot of reps. So he has reps playing the game, meaning that he can come in and he knows what to do. He'll know exactly how to play a game. When he sees this, he knows this is what's going to happen. So having that veteran leadership, having that type of guy on the field and being able, a guy that has played a lot of reps, played a lot of games of football, having him there to come in and spell those guys, spell a Keyron Crawford, spell a Keldrick Faulk, having that type of guy on the field, that could be impactful. I like that. I like that right there. I like that. Whatever it takes to win, if impactful enough. Okay. I like that. Fellas, what's good? What's good, Tez? Hope all is good with you, my guy. Tez, that's an interesting one. I say the same thing, yeah, man. Chris Murray is an interesting one, man. That's very interesting. That's a very interesting take. The more I thought about it, I was like that. I was thinking it through. I was like that makes I can see where he can be impactful, especially on a defense that's gonna have a lot of younger pieces in the front seven. That's gonna be in the rotation. So I understand, and as more I talk that through, that makes a lot of sense. JA needs to be more impactful than Cam Newton. Whoa. More impactful than Cam Newton? Man. So if we're talking Jackson Arnold needs to be more impactful than Cam Newton, that means he needs to have a Heisman Trophy-esque season. Whew. Now, I've said I feel like he can be a Heisman finalist at the end of this season. I have said this about Jackson Arnold. I have said I feel like Jackson Arnold could be a Heisman Trophy finalist at the end of this season. But more impactful than Cam Newton? Wow. Man, that's something to think about right there, King. Wow. Okay. All right. I didn't even think of Chris Murray when thinking of this question. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought about him, but I didn't think about him in the way that I would sit here and say that he potentially could be, because I wasn't thinking of him as a starter. I was thinking of him more as a rotational guy as well. But when I think about it more in depth, it does make sense. Having him in the rotation as a depth piece, as a second guy that can come in and play, having that when you get that second depth group in, having that experienced guy coming off the edge, rushing the passer, that is impactful as well. That is impactful, man. I like that. I like that as well, man. Experienced pass rusher. He'll get the reps and see a ton of one-on-ones. Very true. Very true. I like that, man. Murray needs to establish himself as a leader in the locker room. I like that. That's what's up, man. JT, the reason I didn't think of impactful is because we are also concentrated on the offense to make that jump. That makes sense. And then, of course, in the graphic here, I did put 3 offensive players in the graphic, so I understand that as well too. Let's see, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the legend of Sweet Sugar Bear Williams himself, man. What's going on, man? King, no way anyone can be more impactful than Cam. I'm telling you, if he's more impactful than Cam, bro, that's the season. If that's the case, the season that he's gonna have, if he's gonna be just as impactful, if not more impactful than Cam, because you got to think about the year that Cam Newton had. You got to think about this. Going to Kentucky, I don't know if people realize that playing Kentucky at Kentucky that year, that was really a Cam Newton's coming out party. If you think about that, the pass where he threw it out of bounds. I think he had 3 rushing touchdowns in the game. I think it was really just Cam. It was a bunch of Cam Newton in that game. When you go back and look at, I believe when they played Clemson that year as well. Cam Newton didn't have a really great game in the first half, but in the second half he came out, and I'm saying, yo, this dude is different. He had the Heisman Trophy moment against, Patrick Peterson against LSU with the run in their game, with what I call the run. Then you look at what he did against Arkansas, in that year as well. Then you go back and look at what he did against Alabama with the comeback. So man, that is more impact. Man, that's gonna be. I don't. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of. But you know what? I've said I think that he's a Heisman Trophy. He could be a Heisman Trophy finalist. That's pressure as well too. So that'll be interesting as well. I know Nick going to agree with me. But Rayon Strada is going to potentially be the biggest impact. You already know. You read my mind. The reason why I feel like, and I hadn't gotten into this yet. The reason why I feel as if Rayon Strada is going to be the most impactful guy is because, for one, it's going to move Ken Lee to more than likely the nickel position. Is where it's going to move to. Is where it's going to move him to. Which, in that particular case, Ken Lee is not going to be up against the number one big receiver that other teams have. He's probably going to be on a lot of slot guys at the nickel position. And that's in that case. When you put Rayon Strada out there, one of those corner positions, a guy that's 6'1", 200 plus pounds, playing that position, physical guy that can run with number one receivers. He can lock down one side of the field if need be. I'm telling y'all, man, go watch this man's tape, man. Go watch this man's tape from Miami, Ohio. This man is that deal, man. Rayon Strada is changing. He's going to make this defense. He's going to be one of the reasons why I feel like this secondary is going to be the strongest, if not one of the strongest in the conference this year. Rayon Strada is going to be that guy, man. And I'm telling y'all, man, just watch out. Just watch out, bro. He's going to be the next one. He's the next one. Him and Jay Crawford and Jay Crawford on the edges. Two prototypical type safeties, two big safeties, big time safeties that can cover and that don't mind coming up hitting. I mean, and you're looking at it from the perspective as well as you're looking at the guys that are 6 foot, 6'1" plus, guys that are 200 plus pounds, that when they get draft eligible, teams are going to be looking at them. And if they perform well here at Auburn, guess what that means for recruiting? That means that guys that are coming behind them are looking at them and saying, look at what Auburn is doing. Look at what Auburn is producing. Auburn is producing these prototypical style cornerbacks, these prototypical style guys that the NFL is looking for. So guess what that means? You're going to have more guys that are going to be quality NFL type players that are going to be prototypical size guys. So when you have those two guys on the boundaries at that size, 6'1" and above, 200 plus pounds, that can run and that can cover and that can take care of business on the edges, it just helps your defense in the future when it comes to recruiting, because guess what? You're going to start seeing a lot of high 4-stars and some 5-star guys that potentially that will get 5th stars that are cornerbacks that are going to be 6 foot, 6'1" plus. Playing that boundary and field corner positions. So I'm telling you, man, it's very impactful. He's probably going to be the most impactful moving forward for Auburn in recruiting if Auburn can win on the field as well. That's going to be the difference too as well. My bad. King of the comments said, yeah, man, the only way J.A. has more impact than Cam, he need to win a championship, man. He'll need to win a championship, a Heisman Trophy, have a turnaround season from what he had last year at Oklahoma, which I think he'll have a turnaround anyway. But that'll be the story of college football if that happens. That will be the story of college football, man. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be amazing. Yeah, I thought it was on off. No, you good, man. You good. Agreed, Travell. Ted says, man, Jackson Arnold can throw for 2,700 yards and we can win 9 games. I agree because you look at what Payne Thorne did this past season. If we just had better decision making, if we had better game management, we had some better decision making, really is what it is at the end of some games. Auburn, there were 3 games that Auburn could have won easily, 4 really, and Auburn would have been an 8-9 win team, and things of that nature. And Payne Thorne threw for 2,700 yards this year, and he missed a game and a half. And if he would have played those game and a half, he would have been a 3,000-yard passer. So I'm telling you this. I mean, he can be, but the thing is, we're looking at it as if Jackson Arnold is more talented than what Payne Thorne's ceiling is. I don't even think we've seen what Jackson Arnold's ceiling is. I don't even know if we've gotten that much off the floor, to be honest with you. So we're just looking at what he potentially can do. So it's gonna be interesting to see, man. King Richardson, man, true Auburn dad, but he needs to be because I'm tired of these great offensive mind coaches coming to Auburn and they are subpar offenses. I think that's kind of everywhere in college football, man. It is man. I think what's the stat? I think more defensive coaches have won championships than offensive minded coaches. So I guess the saying of defense still wins championships still remains prevalent. So that's going to be interesting to see, man. I don't know how great Jackson Arnold's stats are if we lose games, if his stats are trash, but Auburn wins games if it's fine with me. I feel you on that, man. You just want to see Auburn winning games. I like that, man. We just want to see Auburn winning football games. That's what we want to be at. That's it. Cam's coming out game was LSU in South Carolina was the moment he won the Heisman. Yeah, I'd probably say it was probably more LSU than anything, especially with that run against Patrick Peterson when he accelerated at the end and you saw exactly how fast he was. Man, it's crazy, man. That's crazy. The OU head coach was taking shots at JA in the post today. I didn't see that. That's interesting. I need to go find that. I need to go see what Brent Venables is saying. Was it Brent Venables? You said OU head coach. So Brent Venables. I'm curious to see what Brent Venables said. I'm gonna have to look that up when I get off this live tonight and see what's going on. He said, "Yo, shout out to Jerry Jones for being awake. He resigned his punter and long snapper. He's going all in. He re-signed his punter and long snapper. He going all in. Hey man, Cowboys need a lot, man. Yeah, Jay Crowder. I was thinking Jay Crowder, man. He's a basketball player. I surely was, man. I meant to say Jay Crawford is what I meant, man. It is what it is, man. Y'all talking about the Bills. Y'all got a long way to go still, even though y'all just gave that man $250 million guaranteed over 6 years, total value of $330 million. So it is what it is. Auburn can make a DB and make a DB a running back. That is our brand for years. Every now and then we get a quarterback having made an NFL linebacker since Carlos Dansby. Jamie Sherwood is an NFL linebacker right now. Who else? Yeah, I think Sherwood is the only linebacker that we got in the league right now, and I may be missing somebody too. Well, no, Derek Hall is an edge rusher. But he does play a little outside line. He can play a little outside linebacker I think he has for the Seahawks in the league. But nah, I see what you're saying. Let's see, man. The legend of Sweet Sugar Bear Wib. She said, Travell, I didn't know you was in this jerk. What's good, big dog? That's what I'm talking about, man. Just showed up here to keep Nick honest. I mean, I'm always honest, man. What you talking about? Man? Yes, he says he found way not to have Jackson Arnold problem this year. Wow. He found a way to not have the Jackson Arnold problem this year. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be real with you. Let me look at this. I'm gonna look at this from a Oklahoma's perspective. You had Jackson Arnold last year, right? You saw what Jackson Arnold did for your football team last year. Whatever the circumstances were, he did not perform. He did not live up to what the expectations was for that offense and what he wanted to do last year. You go out and you get a John Mateer. We're doing the same thing. The same thing that fan base is saying about him is the same thing that we're saying about Peyton Thorne last year. That's all. We're basically saying we have an upgrade of potentially what could happen with this guy in a better system. The offensive coaching staff have said they felt like he was being misused last year at Oklahoma, and they feel like they have a plan to use him better and more efficiently this year in this offense. So we're looking at it from this perspective of, look, the last 2 seasons of what we had at quarterback with Peyton Thorne were not ideal. The last year of what they had at quarterback is not what they thought they was going to have this year. He came over here. We're saying, look, this is potentially a bigger upgrade at what we had from last year. They go out, John Mateer comes in, and they're saying the same thing. The only thing about John Mateer is John Mateer did it on the field last year. He did it on the field. We saw him do it on the field last year. Even though his numbers in the passing game was a little bit similar, was almost similar to what what Peyton Thorne did last year at the quarterback position. He had I think he had 3,200 yards passing last year. But if you look at what he did on the ground rushing, and if he had a little bit more help around him, they are excited about what they have there with John Mateer at quarterback. So, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. They are excited about what they have at quarterback. We are I'm optimistically encouraged about what we have at quarterback potentially coming in. I'm looking at the potential of what he can do and what he can be and what the offensive staff is saying about this guy. So it's going to be interesting to see, man. So I can't fault them for what they said. I mean, I think is it a cheap shot that the head coach said that? I haven't read the full quote. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the context of it. So once I see it, I have a better understanding and a better thought process of it. Then we haven't had a wide receiver since Seth Williams. Ooh, really? I'm trying to think. Yeah, you might have a point there. We probably haven't had a wide receiver since Seth Williams. Well, okay, a receiver that was a true one. Okay, I see what you're saying. Did Cedric Jackson get drafted? I don't think he did. I think he went as an undrafted free agent. Excuse me. Trevell, yeah. Oh yeah, shout out to Coach Pearl for Coach of the Year in SC and Janai Broom, SEC Player of the Year by the Associated Press, man. Yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to those guys, man. Now they have a double bye, and they are going to wait until I think they play Friday, if I'm not mistaken. They play Friday. The tournament starts tomorrow, and so they have a bye Wednesday, Thursday. They play Friday. So we'll see what happens there. So it is what it is. Let's go. It looks like they may be playing Arkansas. We'll see what happens. Just the way the bracket is set up. Trevell says Jackson Arnold is garbage. Oh man, no faith at all. Oh, you did the same thing to Dylan Gabriel when they got Jackson Arnold. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, but the thing about Dylan Gabriel wasn't bad. Dylan Gabriel went to Oregon and was a Heisman Trophy finalist. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and you know what's surprising about Dylan Gabriel, man? Dylan Gabriel, this offseason, it hasn't been a lot of, draft stock talk about him that I thought it would be. It's gonna be interesting to see exactly where he goes in the draft, man. So I don't know, man. It's not a lot. I mean, of course, he was expected to be one of the premier guys at the Senior Bowl, but you just haven't really heard that much more about Dylan Gabriel in this draft process. You've heard about Shadur, you've heard about Cam, but once it gets past those guys, you ain't really heard nothing else more about those guys. You ain't heard nothing else more. You've heard about Jackson Dart, because Jackson Dart name has risen up some draft boards, but Dylan Gabriel has kind of got lost in the sauce a little bit, man. How can Jackson Arnold control all the injuries and even losing OC and Brent Venables' replacement tried to square peg round hole his system? That's very true. And that's the reason why this offensive staff said that they felt like he was being misused last year. They said that. They said that they feel like they had a better plan, and they made that very known when you had Malik Murphy come in before him, and you told Malik Murphy not ready to lock it down yet because you had another guy coming in behind him that you were more interested in. So it's gonna be interesting to see, man. So they locked in on this guy early, tampering, whatever you want to call it. They locked in on this man early, and they made it a priority to get this guy in the portal because this is who they wanted. So I'm telling you, man. Auburn is set up to have a great year this year. I'm telling you, just got to be optimistically encouraged about us, man. Don't jinx us with Arkansas. I feel you, man. OU coach's statement is an envy person mad because his future star left his team to be a star somewhere else. Hey, and the thing about it is, if he does come in, if Jackson Arnold does come in, and he has an impactful season just as much as Cam Newton's season was at Auburn, that is a reflection on, I don't know if that's a reflection on Oklahoma, but it'll definitely leave a sour taste in some Oklahoma fans' mouth. It definitely will. You'll have some Oklahoma fans that'll be upset. They really will be. I saw that earlier. Shout out to coaching Janai Broom. Yes, shout out to him, man. Bro, I just figured out Steph Curry at Davidson had a 2.1 GPA. Bro, it's a lot of people. Bro, listen, bro. Listen. It's a lot of people that had low GPAs in college that are smart as I don't know what. College, and I'm gonna be real with you, bro. I love college. I enjoyed my time at college, bro. I did. But the thing about it is, bro, a lot of stuff that you learn in college is not a lot of stuff that you're gonna apply in the real world unless you're going for like a medical degree, nursing school, engineering, or something like that. A lot of the other stuff, man, it is what it is, man. College was fun. You do your work as well, but the thing about it is, when you in certain type of degrees as well, and they're very opinionating and they're very and you have to give a thought process behind it, or you have a particular view about stuff. Sometimes you just have professors that just won't vibe with you. It's just that case, bro. I'm telling you, it is what it is. Dylan Gabriel, old as well water. He did 6 years in college like Bo Nix. Everywhere Dylan Gabriel went, he won. That's all I can say. Everywhere he went, his team was winning. They were winning. They had win. I think he had a winning season every year he was in college, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me. Same type of crap that came out of Penn State on KLS, and we saw what happened with that. Exactly. That is very true. If if Jackson Arnold comes to Auburn next year, and Jackson Arnold is a Heisman Trophy finalist, bro, I'm telling you, Oklahoma fans gonna be sick to their stomach. I tell you that much right there. Ladies and gentlemen, man, let's take a break real quick, man. We at the halfway mark of the show right now. We're gonna head into halftime, man. We're gonna take a look at our guy DJ after the halftime break. Let's go.
Get on out your seats. It's halftime.
Do you want to feel like a star? Then go to Hollywood Media. Then you'll be shining. From sports interviews, athletic highlight tapes, athletic photography, Hollywood Media will make you the star of all stars. Feel like a star on the most important days of your life, from college graduation to saying I do to your forever person. Let Hollywood Media make your event star-studded. Subscribe and follow on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Hollywood_media. And follow on Facebook at Hollywood Media with 2 A's. Hollywood.
Yes, sir. Shout out to our guy DJ, man. They want support of the Water Cooler Talk podcast. As always, man, make sure you follow our guy on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Hollywood_media. That's Hollywood EY. And then follow him on Facebook at Hollywood Media with 2 A's, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Shout out to our guy DJ, man. If you want to make your memories last, reach out to our guy, man, and have him come and make those memories last forever for you and your family, man. We appreciate you. Athletic highlight tapes as well. If you need them, make it happen, man. We appreciate that guy, man. Shout out to DJ, man. They want support of the Water Cooler Talk podcast. Mess with the people that mess with the Water Cooler Talk as well, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man, for continuing to rock with us here around the water cooler as always on this Tuesday night. Here in the great mind of college football and sports, man. We appreciate y'all again as always, man. But let's take a look at some of these comments that came in while that was rolling. He said, if Jackson Travell comes in and says, man, if Jackson Arnold comes in and have an outstanding season, he will make me a believer. But if he doesn't, he was getting fired, and I'm happy either way. I'm curious to know. All right, I'm curious to know, Travell, who do you want? Who do you want as the head coach at Auburn? Because you don't like Hugh Freeze, but you're gonna be happy if Hugh Freeze wins because it's helping the program. But you're still not gonna like Hugh Freeze if he wins. So who do you want? Who would you like to see as the head coach at Auburn? Shout out to our guy Tez, man. He said, I think Hugh holding a short spring speaks to one, his health issues, and we are praying for that. And two, maybe he's got more trust in Jackson Arnold knowing the system. You know what? It is interesting because when they came out with the schedule for the spring practice, when they came out with the schedule for the spring practice, I looked at it and I was like, man, they started spring practice on the 25th. So 2 weeks from today, they're starting spring practice. And I was like, man, that is pushing it really close to the game. So you really gonna only have really, there. So the way the schedule is, they're going one day, work, off, work, and then I think all work, and then off, and then again. So I think that's how they're doing it. So I'm looking at this and I was like, man, that is kind of tight because you got a lot of other schools that have started spring practice or are getting ready to start this week. And Auburn's kind of behind the 8 ball. Well, for one, Auburn's on spring break this week anyway. But, they're kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit when it comes to the spring. But it also could be the fact of the matter is that his thought process of how the spring is going to be different next year, because I wholeheartedly believe what we're seeing this year with spring football is going to be totally different next year as well. We may not see a spring game. We may see the spring game move to the summer. You know, we may see a break from the end of the national championship game all the way up until maybe June, and then from June, some type of OTA or some type of mandatory practices and stuff like that. And then you move into media days, and then you'll have a couple of weeks off before you move into fall camp. So I think he's looking at it from that particular fact as well, that this change could be, there could be a change as well too. But the more trust in Jackson Arnold knowing the system, I still need to see him in the system. If I'm the coach, I still want to see him in the system with these particular guys in the system. I still want to see him there in this system with these guys. You know, yes, we know what a Cam Coleman can do. We know what an Eric Singleton will look like. We know what Malcolm Simmons can do. We know what we've seen what Horatio Fields can do. We still don't know what Perry Thompson can do. We're still waiting to see that development. We still want to see Bryce Kane. This running back room, who's going to emerge as the guy? There's still a competition that's more than likely going to be had at their right tackle position between Xavier Miller and Mason Murphy. You know what I'm saying? On the defensive side of the ball, I think that's all DJ Durkin. I think DJ Durkin has that locked up, and I think he knows what his rotation more than likely is going to look like and things, stuff like that. But the offense, even though you're looking at the offense at positions and saying talent-wise, personnel-wise, these guys look solidified, we still need to see what these guys can do, because who knows, Darrell Robinson may come in and he may be the starter. Darrell Robinson could come in and be like, hey, I've got more touches in college football. I've got more reps than the guys that you all have coming back. You saw that what I did last year at UConn, almost 800 yards rushing, 8 TDs, if I'm not mistaken, he had. So why am I not being considered for being one of the top guys to and not being the bell cow in this offense when it comes to running football? So, I mean, you have that type of situation. We look at the offensive line and we say, yeah, Connor Lew, Jeremiah Wright, Dylan Wade. We know the interior is locked. We know what Xavier Chaplin is going to look like, who I believe is going to be one of the most impactful parts of this offensive line, because I believe he's a legitimate NFL type. And here's the thing. Here's where I'm getting at with this, man. You're looking at, here's why I am so optimistically encouraged about this. When you look at the guys that Auburn brought in, when you look at the guys that these guys, with the recruiting that's happening with Coach Hugh Freeze and his offense, when you look at these guys look like they already are NFL prototypical type guys for the size and for the position that they're going to be playing. When you look at a Jordan Crawford who's 6'4", almost 6'5", 300 plus pounds. When you look at an Antonio Coleman, 6'5", 300 plus pounds. When you look at Malik Autry, 6'5", 300 plus pounds. When you look at a Jerry Smith, almost 6'6". When you look at these type of guys coming in, an Elijah Melendez, 6'3", almost pushing 6'3" as a linebacker, 215 plus pounds. I'm telling you, when you see this, when you see the type of things, when you see the type of athletes that the teams that Auburn is recruiting now, when you look at the build, when you look at the prototype, when you look at them, and then when you look at how that translates to the next level, when it gets to the NFL, when these guys have an opportunity to play at the next level and make life-changing money for them and their families, when you see that, when you see the guys that they are recruiting, it's a different type of athlete. That's why I'm so high. And like a lot of people like Rayon Strider. Why are you talking? For one, I'm high on Rayon Strider for the simple fact of the matter that, for one, he can play. Two, he's prototypical size for a cornerback in the NFL. When you look at cornerbacks in the NFL, majority cornerbacks are 6 foot and up. 6 foot, 6'1", 6'1". He's 200 plus pounds, which means that he can run, and on a receiver that's potentially a number one guy for an NFL team. When you're looking at him, when you look at think of the number one receivers in the NFL right now. Think of those guys. AJ Brown. What is AJ Brown? 6'3", 6'4", 225 pounds. DK Metcalf just got traded to the Steelers. What is he? 6'4", 6'5", 225, 230 pounds of just pure muscle. What are you going to do when you have a 5'10", 5'11" cornerback on a guy like that? It ain't going to happen. It's not going to end good unless that guy is just a freakish athlete. So you need to have prototypical type NFL type bodies out there to help with that type of guy when you got those type of guys and those type of athletes on the edge. You have to. So when you see a Jay Crowder, not Jay Crowder, Jesus Christ, a Jay Crawford out there at the boundary, when you see a Rayon Strider at the boundary, when you see a Champ Anthony, when you see a Caleb Harris, when you see a DeMarcus Riddick who's 6'1" in 6'1", potential, I think he's almost 6'2" and playing in the middle. When you see a Dallas Walker coming in who's 6'4" at a nose, when you see a Jordan Crawford coming in at 6'4", 6'5", when you see an Xavier Chaplin coming in at 6'6", 300 plus pounds, and can kick step and can bend and has hands. He can kick step and punch, kick step, punch, and he can shovel his feet. Hasn't allowed a sack, hasn't allowed more than I think it's more than 6 sacks in 2 seasons when he was at Virginia Tech. When you see these type of prototypical type NFL guys coming into the system, it means something. It means something. Now, don't get it twisted. There are certain guys out there that are undersized for the positions that they play. You had the London Fletchers of the world. Don't get it twisted. 5'9", London Fletcher out there playing middle linebacker. You get it. You have those type of guys. But to be successful, you got to have height and weight. And that's what I'm excited about when I look at this. When I look at what these guys are recruiting, what this coaching staff is doing, and things and stuff like that. So when I look at the most impactful, when you look at the guys that's coming in, everybody at their position is prototypical size. The only one that you can argue that's probably not prototypical is Eric Singleton. Eric Singleton is what, 5'10", 5'11"? Is he a slot? Is he an outside guy? Because he did play both at Georgia Tech. So I mean, when you look at that, but when you look at everybody else is prototypical NFL. They look like NFL guys. Now it's their time. Now when you get that in, now it's up to the coaching staff to scheme it up and put these guys in positions to where that they can show the talent that they have. Show the reason why you got them to Auburn. Show the reason why they're in the SEC. Show why they deserve and why they should be an NFL talent on the field. Show that. So when I look at the transfer class coming in, I'm looking at all these guys and I'm saying all these guys could be impactful. All of them can be impactful. But the most impactful, in my opinion, is probably Chaplin, Xavier Chaplin. And then right behind him, Jackson Arnold. I'm just being honest. Because without Chaplin right there, when you look at Chaplin, man, he's a prototypical NFL left tackle, man. Blind side. He protecting the blind side, bro. That's what it is. 6'6", 6'7", 320, 25 plus pounds. He can move. He's thick through, no homo. He's thick through the legs. I mean, he can kick step, punch. He can slide. He can move. Having a guy that size that's moving backwards while you have a guy like Jack Pyburn coming off the edge who's going to be an NFL draft pick that's at LSU right now. Have a guy like Tyree Sapp at Florida who's going to be in the NFL, who could have left this year and went to the NFL but decided to come back. Thinking about guys like Michael Parsons, when you get to the NFL, that you're going to be going up against. Thinking about guys like Myles Garrett, who just signed a contract with the Browns. When you look at that and you have this type of guy protecting the blind side of your franchise, when you have that, in my personal opinion, I feel like he's the most impactful. He's more than likely going to be the most impactful for the simple fact of the matter that the offense has been the problem that we've seen at Auburn. It's been the problem. And a lot of it, when you look at the quarterback last year, the quarterback was running for his life because he didn't really trust the blind side. He was getting pressured from his blind side because it wasn't solidified. A lot of guys were playing out of positions. Yes, Dylan Wade can slide out the tackle. He can do that. But when he projects as a guard in the league. He's playing out of position. Yes, he's versatile to play out there, but where he can play, where he's gonna make his money at is as a guard position. So going out and getting an Xavier Chaplin, going out getting him, going out putting him on that edge, protecting the blind side of your quarterback, of the guy that you just said that was being misused at Oklahoma, of the guy that you picked after there was a 6'6" guy named Malik Murphy that came in before him and that wanted to come to Auburn, and you said, hold up, let's hold off a minute because there's a guy coming behind you that will feel like they can do it more efficiently than you. The most impactful part is Chaplin. Chaplin is the guy, in my opinion. But then after him, of course, is Jackson Arnold. After him is Jackson Arnold. Just being real. Jackson Arnold got a ball this year, man. He got a ball. He got a ball. Just gonna be real, man. Travell, righteously, bro, you ain't wrong. Travell ain't wrong about a lot, but he definitely wrong about the Gus stuff. And let's not get into I just want to say that. That's all. I just want to say that. He better hope so, Tez. Man, I'm not saying that. We paid him enough already to cover it. Okay. True. The spring might look totally different next year. Yeah, I got a feeling next year, man, we're gonna see a drastic difference in college football. And college football is gonna look drastically different than what it has looked like the past couple of years. I mean, since we've all known it. Since college football is gonna look a lot different since the BCS era, which is going to be interesting to see, which I just, bro, you can't tell me that we are in the semi-professional, maybe not even semi, but professional beginnings of college football. That's a whole different show. We may talk about that later on this week. It's not that I don't like him. I saw what he did at Ole Miss, and he's doing the same thing here with worse results, but I need wins. I haven't been able to trash talk since 2019. I'm tired of this mess. We don't want to trash talk. It's the thing. It's better for us to be talking about us as winners than we are losers, because when we're talking about us as losers, we're always talking about what if this happened? We're talking about how far apart are we from winning. If we're winning and we lose by a little bit, we're looking at it like, what's that one thing we need in order to get us over the hump? We looking at it from the point of view, it's like, man, we still got a long way to go. I'd rather be having conversations right now about how Auburn, what is the one thing and how this one piece coming in is going to be the difference in Auburn winning, Auburn advancing from the semifinals to the national championship game. That's the conversation I'd rather be having instead of just trying to figure out how we gonna win 8 games. Just being real. It is what it is. King Richard, man, what's up, man? He said, I agree, Nick. It's more of, I hope he's the answer to the style of offense, or Auburn needs to start looking for the next OC and move DJ to head coach. I tell you this much. If Jackson Arnold comes in this year and we see a lot of the same stuff that we've seen over the past 2 seasons with this offense, it wasn't majority of what we did and what we said about Payton Thorne. We need to apologize to him. We do. We need to apologize to Payton Thorne. If we see a lot of what we saw this past year, these past 2 seasons, with what we saw with Payton Thorne in this offense, and we see that with Jackson Arnold, we need to give I need to give Payton Thorne an apology. I will give Payton Thorne an apology because that's culture. And that wouldn't be coaching. That wouldn't just be coaching, but that's culture. That's a culture problem. But who am I? If we fire him, he won't Tez. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. Agreement about seeing it on the field. Agree, man. Agree. All the guys could have been impactful last year, but Hugh Freeze is our coach. See how that has worked out. It is what it is, man. Good one, Nick. Brian Harsin is the only thing I can say to that. Man, chill out. Chill out. Everybody, chill out. Let's not talk about Harsin. Let's talk about Harsin. It is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, man, we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler. As always, man, we appreciate y'all so much. And before we go, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to give the quote of the day one more time.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's time for JT's quote of the day. The quote of the day from JT. JT has the quote of the day for you and me. What is the quote? We want the quote. We need to know the quote. So what is the quote? It's a quote. It's time for JT's quote of the day. So JT, what is the quote today?
All right, man. I had Jim that. JT's quote today before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. He said, we got a quote from one of our own, Cam Newton. The quarterback is the extension of the coach and has a certain type of swagger mentality on the field. Shout out to JT, who gives us a quote of the day every day, ladies and gentlemen. So we appreciate y'all for rocking with us here around the water cooler. It is what it is. The way the games went last year has us shell shocked. We're a much better team than we're giving ourselves credit for. I agree, man. I agree. I feel like we are. I've said it before. Looking at last year's schedule, looking at last year's team, Auburn definitely had 4 more games that we could have won. Auburn could have been a 8-9 win team last year, in my personal opinion. Me trash talking means I got my 8 wins to 9 wins, and I don't need to talk about anything else. I hear you, my guy. I hear you. As he said, boy, you didn't give him a theme song. I definitely did, man. Gave my guy a theme song, man. Shout out to JT with the quote of the day. We're gonna play that every day for JT's quote of the day, man. We appreciate y'all, man. Hey, King Richard said, man, great show, my brother. Message boards was great as also. War Damn Eagle, man. We appreciate you, man. Shout out to our guy, King Richard. As always, man, salute to you, man, as always. Ladies and gentlemen, man, we will be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central time. We'll be back around the water cooler, man. We appreciate y'all so much. And before we get up out of here, man, make sure that you follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, man. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Water Cooler Talk. Of course, follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23. Go to Twitter and follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23. Go to Twitter and follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23. Did it? Okay, you said give you a second. Okay. All right. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. And of course, subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell button here on YouTube so you know when we post more videos and when we go live here on YouTube, man. As always, man, before we get up out of here, man, take a look at these last couple of comments that came in real quick. Huggy Beard, the legend of Sweet Sugar Bear Williams, man. We appreciate you, man. Man, quote of the day, Waterboy Award. This is great. Hey, man, we haven't did a Waterboy Award in a while, man. We need to get Marcus to get us one. Marcus need to get us a Waterboy Award. 595, need more cues. We are 5 people away. 5 people away from hitting 600 subscribers here on YouTube, man. We are 5 people away, man. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, before we get up out of here, you all have a good one. Better yet, y'all have a great one. As always, y'all be blessed, man. Make sure you give the man upstairs above his. And as always, one love. One love, ladies and gentlemen. And guess what? We'll see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. And as always, we out this mug. Holla. Eugene Asante.
Boys and girls of all ages, you're tuned into the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Water Cooler Talks with your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick. Make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss an episode.